just because we believe in continuous learning. And it's really important that you all have a place to come to do that. And a big part of of continuous learning is the feedback loop. So that's a really easy way to learn new things, that if people are open and honest and give us feedback, in that case, could we be better in what we are doing? It's concerns everything what we are doing, actually. And also our organization, Foo Café, is dependent on feedback. And so it happens in spring. Marcus wrote a blog post about that Foo Café is not really good in diversity. And we loved it. We retweeted it, we posted on Facebook, we LinkedIn, everywhere, just to support that type of activity, that people actually cares of what we are doing and how we do it. So we sit down and had a discussion with Marcus. Marcus is here today, I think. He's over there. Yeah. And we talked about how should we do this in the best way. And we come up with a couple of things that we should present today about that topic of the result of Marcus' blog post. And the first part should Ester present. Ester is a board member of Foo Café. She is also owner of a small part of the company. And she is a devoted programmer, and she is running a user group called Coca Heads, and she is also involved in Ruby development. And I don't know really how she could get some time with her family, but that's some other story, I think. Did you switch on your mic?
Nu hörs jag, eller hur? Yeah.
Right.
So, a Foo Café for everyone, for all of us. We want Foo Café to be a safe space, a place where everyone feels welcome, and an environment where we can focus on learning, sharing, creating the stuff we like. We can focus on our passions. We were reviewed by Marcus, as Michael told us, and saw that perhaps we didn't do enough to secure that Foo Café is a safe space where everyone feels welcome. So, we need a code of conduct. This is a way that is used by many conferences and other places to ensure that it's a safe environment where everyone feels welcome. It's reuse. We use something that someone else has constructed and that they feel is useful. We went to the PyCon, and they, in their turn, had their code of conduct structure from the ADA initiative. So we reused something that other implemented before us. But it's a work in progress. So to complete this code of conduct, we will iterate together. Yes. So, what does this code of conduct cover, and why do we need it? I think that a code of conduct can fill two purposes, where the second one is like having a fire insurance. You want to have it in place before your house burned down, but you hope never to have to use it. The first part, the part I think is important, is the little sign on your door that says, "Remember to put out the candles." So when you read our code of conduct, that is posted on our website under About, together with 2 manuals how to use it. I wish that you use both of these perspectives. If something happens, you know where to go. But it's also a way to prevent that we actually need the executing part of the code of conduct. Therefore, I want to cover 3 parts of the code of conduct that I feel could be more explained, so that you know what we intend with it. The first part is sexualization. And that's not because we hate sex. It's because if you have a sexualized environment, it has a tendency to turn people into objects. It's called objectification, and it has nothing with object-oriented programming to do. Instead, it makes programming harder, because objects don't learn, share, and create. People learn, share, and create. You don't learn, share, and create together with an object. You do it with other people. So therefore, we want to have a non-sexualized environment so that we all can stay people, actors, subjects, instead of objects. The other part is about isms. We don't want racism, we don't want sexism, we don't want ableism and all the other isms. And I think that we all agree on that. But not being sexist and racist is actually very hard if yourself is not a subject to it. If you're not a person of color, for example, it's hard to see racism. So I want to share some wisdom from my father, who, when I was a kid, said, Esther, if you tease your siblings, it's not up to you to say if they are teased or not. It's their perspective that counts. So if they say that you tease them, it's more probable that you actually do that than that they are oversensitive, that you haven't taken their perspective. And I think that is the way that we should use the code of conduct here as well. If someone calls me out and says that I'm racist, I probably am. And that someone tells me that is an opportunity for me to learn and to grow. And in that way we can grow together as a community. Just as I now mostly don't tease my siblings. A third part is about bad language. And that has two parts as well. One thing that I've seen is that people who don't speak English natively have a tendency to use more excessive words than they would use in their own language. And for people who are natively speaking English, to whom the words actually have a stronger meaning, that can feel offensive. And that's something that I have to think about. The other part is that if you want to include people like this one, we shouldn't say that things are nuts. And that's a silly example, because I wanted to make a silly example, but there are real examples that it could be something we don't know about a person, something about that person's family, that's something that we use just to say that something is bad, actually means something to them and makes them sad. And we don't want that, because we are passionate about everyone. We want everyone to be welcome. We think that everyone has something to offer when it comes to learning, sharing, creating. And that's why we want to make a safe space where everyone feels welcome. And we think the code of conduct can help us in that. And some credits. Thank you.